welcome to my channel. This is a collaboration with Southern Wife Everyday Life. I want to thank her for the opportunity to do my first collab. We are doing a cookbook edition. We all chose recipes from our favorite cookbooks. Everyone usually uses Pinterest and blogs and all recipes, and we're always using our computers, iPads, our phones to look up recipes, and cookbooks are just not used anymore. Hopefully we'll give you some inspiration to make some recipes out of your cookbooks at home. So I hope you go like and subscribe to Southern Wife Everyday Life's channel and all the other collaborators in the playlist. The playlist will be linked below in the description box. This is the cookbook I'll be using. It's called America's Home Place Home Style Cooking. I'm doing the main dish, a side dish, and a dessert from this same cookbook. And I've never used any of the recipes. I have used a version of the first one. So let's get started. Okay, I've got my pan here. I am adding 1 can of cream of chicken soup. 1 16-ounce container of sour cream. And 1 can of green chilies. The recipe says 1.5 to 2 cans, but I'm guessing that's small cans, and I'm going to use one big can. This is a family favorite of ours, even though it's not exactly the same recipe as ours. The one I use just combines chicken broth, green chilies, and sour cream, and garlic powder. I think I'm going to add some garlic powder in there because I think it adds a great flavor, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in there. It's also great the way we make it, and I will try to link this recipe down below, and if I can't find it, I will give you the recipe that I use. Okay, now I'm going to add the chicken in. The recipe says to boil the chicken until done and tear into pieces, and it calls for 3 pounds. So I went ahead and cooked mine already and put it in there, and that's the sauce, and it's that quick and easy. And I'm going to let this heat up, and I'm going to let this simmer, and while it's simmering, I am going to start on the side dish. Okay, we're going to start on the bean and corn salad as a side dish. So I'm going to mix, it calls for 1 can of black beans or kidney beans drained. So I use black beans and I drain those. I just drained 2 cans of corn, and I'm going to add those in there. It said add 2 tablespoons of finely chopped onion. I've cut way more than that, but I really like onion, so I chopped up a good bit of onion to put in there. It could be 2 tablespoons, it could be more, but it looked good to me. Okay, it calls for 1 small sweet red pepper finely chopped. I use just a half. It calls for 2 tablespoons chopped fresh cilantro. I'm just eyeballing it, I'm not measuring it out. I just took off some and chopped it up. If you don't like cilantro, you could probably leave it out, or you could use parsley. It calls for 2 cloves of garlic, but I'm just going to add some garlic powder. It calls for 1 tablespoon olive oil, but I'm going to use avocado oil. I like it better, and it has a milder taste. And I'm just going to eyeball a tablespoon. It doesn't call for it, but I'm going to put some salt in here and some pepper. It does call for hot pepper flakes, but I'm not going to put that in there. Put some pepper, freshly ground pepper in there. Just toss it together. It's almost like a salsa, a corn salsa, except it doesn't call for tomatoes. Stick this in the refrigerator and let it chill while I start on the dessert. I am going to use another recipe for dessert from the cookbook, and these are never fail chocolate chip cookies, and I take that as a challenge. So we will see if these are never fail, because I'm not a big baker, but I thought I would try these. Even though like a lot of recipes that I've looked through, They don't have exact ingredients, like it tells me flour, but it doesn't say whether it's all-purpose or self-rising, so I'm hoping these are going to be never fail, but we'll see. So I've got 2 cups of shortening here, and it says to cream together shortening, sugar, brown sugar, eggs, water, and vanilla. And I will have all these recipes linked below. So I'm going to add the hot water first. Maybe it'll soften that up a little bit. I'm going to add, calls for 1.5 cups of sugar. This must make a lot of cookies, so I am going to be eating cookies for days, I'm sure. I'm going to go ahead and add the eggs, so that could be mixing up and kind of softening up this. It also calls for brown sugar, 1.5 cups. It also calls for 2 teaspoons vanilla. I've got the 1/2 teaspoon. Kind of overflowed it a little bit, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, I've creamed that mixture, and I'm going to sift the flour, baking soda, and salt. I've already added that in here. It calls for 5 1/4 cup of flour, so that surprised me. And I've got 2 teaspoons of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt in here. I should have got a bigger bowl. Okay, I went and got a bigger bowl because I didn't know that it was going to make this many cookies. But while I'm mixing, I'm just going to go ahead and put the chocolate chips in there. Smells so good. It's nice and bubbly. It's browned on the top. She's a beauty. Looks really good right out of the oven, nice and bubbly and cheesy. So I'm going to let that sit while I finish up the cookies. Okay, we'll see about these never fail chocolate chip cookies. The directions were not clear about what to do after you mix it up. So I just took a tablespoon and took the dough and kind of rounded them out and separated them, and I'm going to put it in a 375-degree oven, and we will, it says a 375 oven for 10 to 12 minutes, so let's try out the first batch. Okay, the chicken enchiladas are out of the oven, and they've cooled down, and the corn and bean salad is done, so we're going to eat, and I will let you know how it is. This is what they look like. I took them out in 10 minutes. I didn't want to overcook them, but they look really good. I will let them cool a couple minutes and I'll see if they were a no-fail. Okay, so I definitely will make this again. It was really good. I will put both recipes down below so you can try either way. This was not a success for me. It didn't have a whole lot of flavor, even when I added salt, pepper. I added more garlic powder. I added some onion powder, and it still really didn't have good flavor. I think next time I would use tomatoes in it, and I would also add maybe some lime juice to kind of make it into a salsa. But it was just kind of bland. It wasn't anything wrong with it. It was just bland. These were really never fail cookies. These were really good. But one tip, that makes a lot of cookies. Next time I would have the recipe. And I think next time I will add, the next batch, I will add some pecans. And I will definitely be making this again. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. 2 out of 3 recipes it's not bad. I want to thank Southern Wife Everyday Life again for this opportunity to do a collab, and I hope We will get to do many more. Like and subscribe to my channel for more recipes, and I hope that you will check out the link below, and I can't wait to get some new recipe ideas. So hopefully I will see you in the next video.